without further ado, I'll keep the question simple today. How do you coach properly? Whether it's on the mats or competition mat side. Yeah. Like, no,
keep,
it's like,
keep it simple, eh?
yes.
It's such a complex question.
I'm not going to just not sugarcoating it. Just how do you do like if you hit a weird line between like cheerleading and competitions where it's just go and like you're not really contributing to anything versus something
Yeah.
practical that's like game changing advice. What's it
hmm
like how do you approach it?
Well, um, as I stated like many times before in lives and talking with people I know and with my affiliate leaders and stuff like that. Coaching, I've been teaching classes since blue belt, and I've been coaching teammates since I was a blue belt, right? Our professor sometimes he didn't like going to tournaments, so I would be like the main guy coaching guys from day one, supporting guys. I really enjoyed it from right from the early beginning of my career. I loved coaching. I loved motivating my teammates to win, and I enjoyed watching my teammates win. So how does it go from like just yelling at them to like strategically, uh, you know, telling them the right thing at the right time? It's an evolution, it I got better because I did it so much,
Mm,
you know. And even to this day, you'll see me at the tournament when it starts, and I'm there at the end, and we're talking me coaching 30 to 50 matches a day, right? You get better, you improve, you learn what works and what doesn't. Coaching is completely different and a science in itself. Like being a professor on the mat and teaching technique versus, on the sidelines behind the barricade and, having in that environment. But I think I don't want to sound egocentric or anything like that, but
mm, mm.
it's my gift. It's the gift that has been given me. It's what I'm really good at. I think better than being a professor, better than being an athlete. This is what I excel the most at, and that's coaching. I've always had the knack and the ability to see things as they happen and anticipate as well as what's going to happen next. But I think a lot of it has to do with experience. Like if you know a lot about jiu-jitsu, which I'm a fanatic, you can see like there are problems that have been solved before. They're
Yeah.
predetermined patterns sometimes. So you can, I know what to tell my student because even though I may not like be very good at lasso guard, right? But I've watched so many videos and I've watched so many competitors and I've watched so much content on lasso guard that I know what to tell my student. I know what to tell them to look out for. What a timing. Plenty of matches. I'm like, not. I can. Okay. One of the things that's important for coaches to do is like, you have to spend so much time with your athletes.
Okay.
But this is also not just for coaches, but for athletes as well. You
Mm.
need to build a relationship with your professors and your coaches
Okay.
and constant like regular attendance in class and regular, because then we watch you so much that we know your game, we know what you're thinking, we know what you're good at, what you're not good at. So when we go to the competition, man, I know what you're thinking before you're thinking, and I'm like, no, 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 not yet, because I know what you want to do, but it's not the right time,
Mhm,
right?
mhm.
And I'm like, wait, wait, wait. Okay, now. And when they go now, okay, they go and they do it and it happens and it works. But that takes years. Like it takes years to develop that kind of relationship with
Oh wow. Okay.
athletes to where you know each other so well, like where they have so much confidence in what you have to say because when you say it, it works. And you have so much confidence and you know them so well that that you have to build that relationship. So a lot of the higher level guys that have had the most success within my team are guys that have spent a lot of time with me, right? I'm able to coach anybody, and I always joke like I can guide you to your best possible outcome if you listen,
Mm-hmm.
right? But you have to listen. Well, if it's someone, for example, like I just met you and you're from one of my affiliates, and I just met you, and I'm like, okay, you're representing my team, so I'm going to coach you, and I say, man, as long as you listen, I'm gonna. And it's a hit and miss sometimes, because when sometimes they listen because they oh, you're the big professor or whatever, and other times they just not used to you, or they so nervous because maybe they're a lower belt and they don't listen at all, and you're just like, oh well, it is what it is. But it's not something that you're. It can be a combination of things. You can coach a lot, coach often, and you'll get better over the years, or you just have it in you to be a good coach. For me, it's always come natural to me, and I think I've have the accolades and the success stories and the evidence to prove that. Um, and I love it, man. I really, really enjoy it. And there's been moments sometimes where there's so much stuff you learn. You learn how to, uh, some things I don't want to say because it's kind of like the way I do things is just, it's
Uh-huh.
tricky. It's tricky and I don't want to give them away, right?
Okay,
Because
fair
it's
enough, fair
just
enough.
this my way of doing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But there's so much stuff you can manipulate during matches, you know.
Oh, okay.
So, but you have to be extremely like, you have to understand the rules. This is the most important thing. If as a coach, you need to know the rules. You can't be arguing with the referees if you don't know what you're talking about. Um, and that also you
I,
have to make sure you keep the referees accountable. Like if I know the rule and
uh,
you know what I mean, so I'm gonna call you out on it. Um, And yeah, it's really it's tricky sometimes because sometimes it's gut instinct too. Like I'm watching a match and all of a sudden something comes to me in my mind. I'm like, huh, okay. So I try to get my athlete to do it, and it's so funny because like it works, and I laugh, and then and they come to me. It's like, oh, thank you, professor, that was great. I was like, and I'm just like, dude, you have no idea. That just was just like
spur of the moment. Just
yeah,
it was a feeling, right?
yeah, it was a feeling, it was a feeling, and then that stuff just like blows your mind, and that just makes me even more addicted to the coaching aspect.
I
Um,
I think you touched on something really funny there in the sense that there's ways you can manipulate a match even though you're not actually part of the match. I went to a seminar once and with Drysdale, and he told me back in the day he would like even if he knows he's wrong on the corner side and he's coaching for a student, he'll still argue with the ref like nonstop. Like he will make a point even if he knows he's 100% not in the right, just to like whether it's for athlete morale or just to like sway a certain
yep.
decision. It's like I was taken aback when I heard that, but it makes sense when things get that competitive.
Yep. No, absolutely. Listen, you have to do your best for your athlete, you know, and that's your main priority. Your main
Mm-hmm.
priority is to have the best outcome for your athlete, but at the same time, also protect them from getting injured and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So,
or just
safety,
cheating in general.
you have to care for your athletes. You have to care to make sure that they have the best outcome, but at the same time that they don't get hurt too, right? So,
I think one of a situation I had once was I was in butterfly guard and I was on 2-on-1. I was on 2-on-1 from the butterfly guard, and then we were just out of bounds, so the referee reset us, and then the guy in the middle of the match he tried to get back to butterfly, and the ref almost did not call it until I made a big stink about it because I remember thinking like, no, I almost had that pass. He's not getting away with that. That's not fair. In situations like that where it's like I think whether your corner jumps in or the crowd starts getting antsy, right? There's a lot of pressure on the ref to like either well just honestly make the right call.
it's a thankless job, referees. That's why like I did it for a
Mm-hmm.
few
Yeah.
years. I refereed in the early days.
Oh,
Uh,
no kidding.
but yeah, I did. I refereed. I remember refereeing at Jeff Jocelyn's turn. Well,
Oh,
I keep saying Jeff Jocelyn's tournament, but it wasn't Jeff's tournament. It was his dad's tournament. It was
right. The
Jocelyn's.
Jocelyn Open,
It was
right?
just a Jocelyn, yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
no, I have an incredible amount of respect for Jeff. He's an amazing guy. Um, but yeah, I refereed a bunch of times there and a few other smaller tournaments, and I just after a while, two things really pissed me off, and I said I don't want to do this anymore. Uh, Arguing with parents during
Yeah.
during kids matches because again. it was parents and coaches, right? Those were the two that really bothered me. And the reason why, they didn't know the rules, and
Mm,
they were arguing with me about the rules. And I'm like, man, and I just got tired of that. I got tired
yeah.
of having to explain myself. And then it became where it's like a priority, right? What's more important to me, refereeing or coaching? And there's no doubt. Come on, man. There's no doubt coaching was more important to me. So that's why I'd rather be looking after my teammates and then eventually my students than being a referee, right? So I think that it's an important job. It's a thankless job. I try not to give them too much of a hard time
Oh,
unless they're really, really wrong. Because man, they're human. They make mistakes. You know what I mean? They're gonna make mistakes, and yes, it might cost you the match, and yeah, you can be upset. But hey, man, it happens sometimes. Sign up for the
okay.
test. Sign up for the next tournament. Try again.
I'm it's on my list of things to do to actually go take the referee course that the OJA provides. I'm
Yeah.
actually really curious because it seems like
There's a
there's
few
subjectivity
slight
in the rule set, right?
differences. There's a slight few differences, but I think it's almost like 98% the same as IBJJF, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So and yeah, I mean, and you can. My advice for guys out there who want to learn about being a referee or interested in being a referee, not only do the courses, but all the IBJJF has the videos on their YouTube channel with the scoring system, right?
Oh, fair
So
enough.
they
Yeah.
have like four videos, I think it is, and they go in each like okay, takedowns, sweeps, and then penalties, and I forget some others like illegal moves, and they have another video, I forget what, but they go through the
Mhm.
point system and all this other stuff. So there's four videos you can watch, official videos by the IBJJF that you can watch on their YouTube channel. So just look that
Those
up.
are those are very helpful. I remember Parabellum Quintet did something similar where they added a new rule and they put a video example of how the rule is supposed to be implemented. I thought as competitors, those are all very helpful things, resources, just to make sure you're aware of the
All
rules.
the I think most of the major um, federations have that. I know recently the JJIF,
Mm.
the Jiu-Jitsu International Federation, which we go with the national team and stuff like that, they are in their YouTube channel. They also have been putting their rule set on there. They're slightly different than the IBJJF. So, you know, if you're going to compete for the JJIF, you should be watching those videos and learning from just learning the rules from there. I hope that the Abu Dhabi Pro puts out their rule set soon because, you know, they're so different now with the advantages being points, penalties being points. Like, I hope that you know, they put out their own videos as well because it's important. Like, we live in a, you know, online world, so it's important, I think, that you put everything online so for people to understand it better. Like, just people don't have the attention span to be scrolling through a PDF anymore. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
No, no,
Everybody
no.
would we're being programmed almost to where it's all video, video, video,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah. Yeah. If I have the option between the two, I'm going to try to check out the video first. If the video is awful, then I'll resort to the PDF. Right.
so
It's,
I mean, just to kind of, you know, before our time runs away here on us. So
yeah.
you get build experience
Oh,
as a coach by coaching a lot. Start with coaching your teammates or helping to coach your teammates. And then eventually, if you have your own academy, like professors out there, there's some of you that you are doing your students a disservice. You know, there's many, I'm not going to say names or anything like that, but I know of so many academies that athletes go compete. And I know for a fact that their professor, their lead professor or coach never shows up at tournaments.
yeah.
Never
Yeah.
there, right? I'm like, you're doing your athlete a disservice. You know what I'm saying? And don't give me this like, oh, I don't get paid for that. Man, it's not about being paid. I don't get paid a cent. You know what I mean? I'm there from 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock in the morning to 7 o'clock at night. It's an investment, man. These are your students. They're wearing your patch. They're representing your brand, your team. They should be looked after. You know what I mean? And that's what I believe in. If you're gonna wear my patch, I'm gonna be there for you. You know, as best as I can. I mean, I can't coach everybody; it's impossible. But you know that I try to coach as many people as I can, and I have to make some hard decisions sometimes. Where like I have four people going up at the same time, and I'm like, who who needs me most, or who do I need to win more? Like it's a hard decision because you have to pick somebody and coach them while you leave someone else. But luckily for me, like I have amazing coaches on the team too. Like if you listen to Constantine coach, he's amazing. Igor does a fantastic job. Like even Josh,
Mm.
I know he's only a sandbagging purple belt, but he's amazing.
Yeah.
You know, if you listen to Josh coach, he does a fantastic job. So
Very methodical, very calm, very
he's
clear.
well, but man, he's been listening to me coach for years,
Mm.
years and years. So he's smart and he follows like a very similar way of coaching, which it's a blueprint, man. It's a blueprint for success. So he's amazing. Yeah, man, and it's just it's important to do that. You have to be there for your students. You have to be there for your athletes. And again, that's how you get good. That's how you get
It's
good. Man, I
you.
remember I remember coaching the national team, and I was in awe because my opposing coach, again, not going to name names, my opposing coach was he's a super famous guy, you know, like very well known worldwide.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And I remember I'm coaching, and this is kind of like one of those pinnacle highlights kind of thing of my career as a coach. I outcoached him to every single step. He stopped coaching halfway through the match. He's like,
Oh, no kidding.
forget it. I can't keep up with this guy. And
Oh,
my guy ended up winning.
wait? I want to unpackage that. What do you
And
mean? He mentally gave up in terms of like he gave up on his athlete? Like, what do you mean by like he just
yeah,
I
he
can't keep
just,
that?
yeah, he couldn't. I was always a step ahead. My athlete was always a
Uh,
step ahead. What I was saying was always a step ahead.
you knew what he was going to tell him. You knew how to play counter that right from
It
the
was
get go.
just, and I was amazed. It was also amazing because, of course, that athlete relationship, the athlete that I was coaching was super receptive to what I was saying.
Mm-hmm.
And again, this is not my student. This is, a national team member who belongs to another team, who, represented a different academy. But he was so receptive to what I was saying, and we just kept up, on and on and on. And the guy he won, who he beat, and this was for like the bronze medal match, I think.
Yeah.
I think so.
Mm-hmm.
He ended up winning the bronze. This guy was this past year's world champion.
Okay.
He ended up winning the world championships last year.
Yeah.
So I was like,
Damn.
man, it was so to be on that level with someone that's such a high reputation and to outcoach him was just like awesome, just awesome. So,
That's a feather,
but
like big
again,
feather in your
I go
cap.
back. I go back to that. That might be, a super high for me, but it took hundreds and hundreds of matches before that I've coached. If you add up all the tournaments I've been to and all the people that I've coached, it adds up. That knowledge base and adds up. Those instincts, those things that it's like any other skill that you acquire.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's a skill. Coaching is a skill, just like teaching is a skill. This has been established forever. Where just because you're a good athlete doesn't mean you're a good professor, right? Or you can teach classes, right? There are guys who've never competed who are incredible professors and have amazing athletes as under their cap. So it's not black and white, but it's a skill that you can acquire as an athlete. If you're going to be high level, it's skills that you acquire. If you're a professor, you're a really good professor, it's skills that you acquire. If you're going to be a coach, fantastic coach, it's skills that you acquire, right? But there is something
Yeah.
to say for those who really, really excel. There's some natural talent there as well, I think.
It's like no, just like with athletes, so you only get people that are like they train really hard, they're good, but then you got the guys that just they have that latent ability, right? So I can see that for coaching too, just being a great communicator, right? Having people listen to you properly.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I want to,
You have to be,
I want, yeah,
you have to be confidence too. Like confidence is everything in every aspect. Confidence as an athlete,
yeah,
confidence as
yeah,
a professor, confidence as a coach. It's like out of the three is the area that I'm most confident in. You know,
very
so
cool.
I find this there's a nice comment here. Professor Igor and Marco need to do a travel blog, kind of like two fat ladies. Only you guys go fishing instead of baking a souffle or whatever.
So I
That could be a really interesting thing if we had to do some kind of like follow me and Igor around. That
I wouldn't
can be,
mind seeing a tournament vlog of like following the coaches and stuff, following an athlete, just seeing like how like
yeah, probably good.
I would love to see the chaos that ensues for the like your day, that
Oh
you running from
man,
match to match, right?
I I literally lose my voice every tournament.
Oh,
Every
I see it.
tournament,
Yeah.
I
Oh,
come
yeah.
home and I have this lovely husky voice that I talk with to my wife with.
How was your day? Yeah, it was okay.
It's just horrible. You know what I
um,
mean? Hey Chris, thanks for
I,
popping in here, man. I
I
hope you're
wanted to
doing
brush.
well up there in Winterpeg.
I wanted to touch base on something. You brought this up. Like, no, actually, no. It's just the overall way you've been telling your thoughts on this. You take a lot of ownership over the coaching aspect of this. It's very clear, right? You're trying to get to match and see what everyone's up to, and like make sure they do their best and live up to potential.
Mhm.
Where do you draw the line? Because you can get so invested in that process, and you see a guy just doesn't pull up the standard. Like you take like you, some people would be extreme.
I'm cold-blooded, man. I'm cold. Uh, like, and just to answer Jay's comment here,
Mhm.
Professor Frias, I no way in hell I'm wearing a helmet cam, brother. It's not happening.
I have the
um,
strap. I have the GoPro and the strap. I'm just saying.
I would not. It's not happening. Never gonna happen. What was I going here? I lost my train of thought. Oh, it's a. I say three strikes, you're out. And I've said this to many guys before, especially like if they win one match and they weren't quite listening to me, and then they have to go to another
Uh,
and they're going to say the second round. I tell them, man, listen, it's three strikes, you're out. If I say three things and you don't do them during a match and you don't follow them and you basically ignore me, I walk away. I
gotcha.
literally walk away. I'll go coach someone else
Yeah. I
because
wouldn't blame you.
I can't be wasting my voice and my energy and my my emotions on someone that's not going to listen. And I
Especially if they
have
will come out of that and try to blame you or something.
no,
That's
dude,
that's not empathetic.
I have walked away from guys. I have walked
Okay.
away from guys. Yeah.
That's a
And
healthy line, I think.
but however, I give them fair warning.
Hmm.
I give them fair warning.
Like, oh, okay, what do you
If
mean by
it,
that?
I tell them, hey, listen, if you don't listen to me, and if I tell you three things and you don't listen to me, I'm gonna walk away.
Okay.
I'm gonna stop coaching you, and you're on your own. I give you fair warning. I just don't walk away. I tell you that's what I'm gonna do. Right. But a lot of the times, when they go into the second match or whatever, now they're way more receptive because they want to win. Right.
Right.
And
Right.
they and if man, I wish there was some kind of way to gauge percentages as far as
Hmm.
like winning percentages of winning matches versus losing matches because I'd be very interested to see where I stack up. You know,
Something that maybe keep in mind for the future, I guess, for other tournaments. Just like I don't know, maybe like keep a logbook.
dude. But I've been coaching for like 15 years. Like,
Okay, so it's like
it's
okay, we're going to bite that bullet. Like those
you
15
know what I
years are gone. It's
mean.
in a trap.
I don't know if I can. If like I think I'm not. I don't want to like think that I'm I'm done or anything like that. But I think that like anything else, like you eventually. I don't know. I think coaching I can probably do until I die, but I don't know at what level and stuff like that, right? So
I guess my big takeaways here that kind of like that caught me off guard was good coaching comes from both the athlete and the coach. Like that relationship needs to be built, and I know what you're
yes,
talking about there. It can't just be like a raw. You go in and just tell the guy what to do. That it doesn't
I
work
mean
like that.
you need a lot of experience
Hmm.
if you're gonna coach guys like, and you've never trained them or
Right. Right.
they train with you for a small period of time or they come from another team and they join your team, so they're already used to certain things. But if you have experience, you can again if you know what you're doing. Here's the thing: the best results are going to come if you have a good relationship with the person, right? But you can still get results as long as the athlete is receptive to what you're saying, but you have to be good at what you're saying, right? You can't be just throwing stuff out there. And, and again, I've seen the worst of the worst, and I've seen the best of the best. I've seen guys like I'm coaching, and I hear the other guys coach, and I'm thinking to myself, who the hell is this guy? He's an idiot. You know
Right.
what I mean? He's like, he's not helping his athlete at all, which is like, great for my guy. You know what I mean? It's good for it's good for my guy because, the other guy's not really helping at all. He's just saying stupid stuff. But I've had guys that I've coached against, and I'm like, oh damn, like he's on par with me, and it's like remote control, and and
Right.
whoever knows this game just a little better might, there's so many variables like, who am I coaching and who are they coaching and how are they, how did they games fare up with one another? You know what I mean? And
It's kind of
so
surreal
it's
that
like,
you're kind of playing a real life fighting game, honestly.
yeah, for me, it's like a video game I'm very good at, and I have if as long as you as an athlete give me the remote, we're good, you know. So so yeah, it's good. But if you give me the remote and it's not plugged in, I'm sorry, man. It's not gonna work. So
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. No, I'm thinking back to just times like I'm like
There's a
just
good there's a good
you myself.
I'm trying to follow along here because sometimes I don't want to be rude and miss some of the questions in the comments. But good question, Crystal. Are white belts harder to coach than higher belts? I hate to say it, but yes, obviously. It's just there's a lot of nerves there and a lot of uncertainty, and sometimes the confidence level is not ideal. Sometimes the pressure of the matches get to them. A lot of them are like deer in headlights where I'm trying to say stuff and they're just so nervous they can't hear anything, right? So definitely higher belts are easier to coach because they have a lot of experience and that relationship has been built and so yes, it's easier to coach higher belts than white belts. But
Technical
it's not the white belt's fault. It's just that lack of experience.
technical capabilities aside, what can someone that's new and or a white belt, what can they do to help smooth that process out for you in the middle of a tournament?
I think that they shouldn't rush getting into tournaments.
Oh,
Um,
okay, interesting. Yeah.
I think they should, at least a year, at least 8 months to a year. That's the bare minimum. If you can spend a little bit more time, I'd actually recommend it as well. If you can get up to three stripes. If you're a three-stripe white belt, okay, then I think you should compete. Anything earlier than that, then it's just like you have to really educate them that you're just going out there to test things out, see how it goes. Don't expect miracles. You know what I
So
mean?
yeah, yeah. Try to
But
do
if
your best,
if
but don't
you're if you're a
expect
three
miracles.
stripe
Yeah.
if you're a three-stripe white belt, it's about learning the points and the positions and having a basic game plan, a fundamental game plan, and that takes a little bit of time to build, right? And again, it gives you a good year and a half where you get to know your professor and build that friendship, build that relationship, build that trust. I think a lot of the trust comes automatic sometimes if you have, like, for example, if you're a winning coach and you have a lot of champion athletes, you're more likely to have someone new listen to you because of your accolades or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm like, well, he must know what he's talking about. Look at all the champions or whatever, right?
It's
So
implicit trust, right?
yeah, but yeah, definitely take your time. Don't just jump in the deep end. It works for some, but not for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but I think you need to be smart about when to start competing, and it's just establishing a good foundation, a good base, understanding of the rules, the fundamentals, and having a basic game plan. And you have to have also an invested coach, like a coach that's going to be there and kind of guide you through it and help you out.
Okay, interesting. I guess I'm curious. do you have like what are the biggest issues in running like coaching higher level belts? I guess then on the opposite end of the spectrum, or is it do these problems just kind of go away completely?
I think the most part with the higher belts, if I that I get frustrated with, is if they didn't invest enough time in the preparation.
Oh,
Right? I mean, that's what I get. Like, like they didn't really train as much as they should or put in the time as much as they should, and then they go and lose to someone that I know they're better
yeah,
than, they're better
yeah.
than that guy. But you, everything counts when you get to the higher belts. So the more prepared you are physically, mentally, and technically, the better the chances are that you win. It gets harder, not easier. Like,
Mm.
you know what I mean? Like winning tournaments gets harder as you change levels, not easier. Right? So
Oh, you know what?
the
I
only
can't.
thing that gets a little easier is the mental game, the nerves. That gets a little bit easier with experience. But as far as competition itself it's harder because guys are good, right? So don't like when guys don't prepare properly and then they go out there. And the thing is, I'm not a tyrant. I'm like, oh, you can't compete. You're not ready. Well, you want to compete, but don't. It's the same thing. Like, don't expect miracles. Don't expect to have a good, the best performance. Um, I like when guys are prepared, and because it goes back to the previous live that we had where I discussed like it, if you're in good shape, right? That's the most important thing.
Everything clicks. Yeah.
Yeah, so it start to hit that flow state, and that's when you're really gonna have some good results. So being in shape is the most important thing. That means training often and training hard.
I no, I like that. I like the idea that it's just relative expectations. Like if you're gonna come in here, just do it. Just go prepared. Don't give yourself excuses from the get go.
Yeah.
So
We got about
otherwise,
10 minutes left. Would
people
really
ask away.
appreciate, guys, listen, I really appreciate that you just don't get on here and watch and listen, try to get involved a little bit and ask some questions, and you've been listening to us for about 45 minutes now, 50 minutes. I'm sure you got some stuff maybe you have in your mind. Just either make a comment or ask a question. We got about 10 minutes left. YouTube channel, subscribe.
Like and subscribe. 100% Coffee with Costa. Link in my bio. Link on Facebook, our Facebook pages. We're spam that link everywhere. Even the
Yeah.
Jiu-Jitsu groups. We hit it. It was great. 65. I'm so hyped. 65 subscribers. This is really cool.
It doesn't seem like much, but it means a lot to us. So
Hey, humble beginnings, man. Like, this is where it starts. This is where it starts.
what if
Ooh.
Professor Jason, what if the higher belts still get a little nervous? You will never get rid of the nerves. Never. And I mentioned this again in previous Insta lives. You will never get rid of the nerves. But the best way is like, again, if you're in the best shape and you're really prepared, when you slap, bump, and go, that will your physicality and your mental state will like bang, you go on autopilot and go 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 go. You know what I mean? Being nervous is normal. I don't think you can ever get rid of that. But if you're in good shape, it will push you through. So because if you're out of shape and you're nervous, literally those first 30 seconds of the match, you're gonna have a energy dump and you're gonna die. You're gonna get tired and you're gonna lose because of exhaustion, right? But if you're in good shape, you can be nervous. But if you're in good shape, you're gonna last more than 30 seconds. You know what I mean? You're gonna 4 or 5 minutes, right? So being prepared physically, and again, being in good shape, it gives you confidence, man. If you feel good physically and you feel strong, it gives you natural confidence, right? So that's the thing. Be prepared as you can be.
What's your favorite coaching moment of 2019, 2020 from Nicholas?
Ryan Almonte, provincial. Yeah,
I
man.
still have that highlight. Is it special? Thank you.
Finals of the absolute division. Finals of the
Mm-hmm.
absolute division in provincials. His opponent was destroying everybody up until the final. And I think and he was overconfident. He was overconfident, but I think I don't think you know who Ryan Almonte is, right? And then again, that trust, that relationship between me and Ryan. And yeah, it was awesome, man. He ended up winning, and it was amazing. It was amazing.
what was the tell you thought he was overconfident from your perspective?
Sorry?
What was the tell that you thought he was overconfident?
Well,
yeah.
because of what, a lot attitude and some of this attitude that I don't like. But he was like literally destroying guys in less than 2 minutes. A Brazilian gentleman, very good, a very talented
Gotcha.
kid, young kid, and he was just like tapping people out easily in like less than 2 minutes. And he would
Yeah.
just smile and laugh and give the number one. And I was like,
Okay.
okay,
Okay.
okay, you just wait, you just wait. And he
Unleash the
made a
beast.
listen, he made a huge mistake, but he didn't know that there was a huge mistake. You know what I mean? And that he pulled guard. I'm like,
Oh,
you pull guard on
that's
Ryan. Come on, man.
guard
So
destroyer.
that's yes, yes. Okay, so I find for bonding and coaching relationship building, it's great to criticize your match video together. Yeah, yeah, you can watch your matches, watch the video together if you have time. I highly recommend. I always tell the guys, listen, film your matches. We can look at it afterwards. But athletes, I don't know. I get frustrated because not they record it, but they don't actually ask me to watch the videos with them, right? So an issue. As far as the question about my neck and shoulders injuries, they're severe enough that I don't really train hard. Um, you have to basically stop with your ego, right, and roll for fun. And I have amazing students, amazing black belts that roll with me for fun and allow me to stay active and to move and not knowing that I'm not going to get injured. I can never have the wars, the battles, the grind. I can never do that again. You know what I mean? But yes, there's plenty of exercises and stretches and physio, rubber band work. Neck, not so much stuff, but this new thing that they have out there, what's it called? That you attach to the door, and then you have to
Oh,
put
it's
it on
like a
your
neck
head,
harness.
and
Yeah.
then you rotate your head on it. I've heard good things about it. I haven't had a chance to try it out.
Mhm, mhm.
But I've heard good things about that. But for shoulders, there's a lot of rubber band stuff that helps out physio, a lot of physio. But rolling hard, those days are behind me, man. I can't do that stuff. Oh, we almost lost you there for a bit.
Ooh, a little
No,
bit.
no.
I'm still here.
Oh,
Still here.
neck flex. I think is what Kevin Henry is saying. The name of the thing is. Yeah. Yeah, I've heard good things about it. I know Sean, one of my guys, my brown belts, he has one, and you see him use it all the time. He brings it into the academy and straps it. And I know Ram picked up one. Uh,
Oh,
Ram picked up one, I think, to have in the academy. I'm not sure if he's going to allow people to use it or not, if it's just his. But yeah, I'm going to give that a try at some point. But right now, I'm just worried about my shoulder, and I'm trying to get an MRI booked and hopefully get this, figure out what's wrong and go from there. 4 minutes left before we get kicked out.
just a
Any other
little bit.
comments? Anything else?
Well, comments are trickling in. I think we should follow up on that vlog idea from when tournaments start back up again. I think that's actually that'd be a really cool video to put on the channel. That'd be a lot
Jay,
of fun.
Jay has volunteered to follow me around with a head cam.
It looks ridiculous, but the footage is really cool.
There's
The
no way
footage
to
is
look.
really cool. There's no,
I
well, yeah,
I
no, yeah,
know, but
it's
there's
true.
no way to look cool with it though. You know what I mean?
I remember I wore it to work one time, and then like I just I got a lot of weird looks.
Yeah.
That was a fun day. Cool footage nonetheless.
2 minutes, 2 minutes, everybody. Come on. Hit me with some questions. Come on, guys. Hit me with some
You
questions.
got one right
Or
there. How do you
comments
sign up and become?
we got okay, in 2 minutes. Those of you that are here, if I ever coached you, uh is there anything in mind or any moment in time that you can think of where, we connected and you did well? Just if any of you guys are ever had that experience, please let us know. We got a minute and 20 left. Anyone?
Okay, I'll start. I remember there was a match I was down 6 points, and then I came back to win that eight. 8-6 last minute.
Was I coaching you that?
Yeah, you were 100%.
Oh,
I was
okay.
literally down 6 points. My friends were like, "He's not good. He's not good. He's really bad." And I'm like 2 minutes in, I'm down 4 points. I was like, "Ah!"
Yeah,
And
man. Never give up until
oh,
the time runs out, man. Never
that's
give up.
Rocky stuff, man. That's not
Yeah,
ain't over till it's
yes,
over.
yes, Jason, Colombia, when you fought that gorilla. Yes, that was awesome. That was amazing. Oh, I would love that. The Marco and Edgar, a little motorbike and a sidecar. I would for sure be in the sidecar.
Oh, you got a lot of
Oh,
people chiming in here. My first tournament as a blue belt from Sarah. When you told me to switch to a triangle on Sam and I won. There we go. I
yeah.
was losing and my opponent had my back. I showed up. You showed up and I won comfortably. There we go. There we go. You made a significant change on people's lives here. Look at that go. Oh my god.
Many tournaments you helped me beat a tough gringo guy around 10-0, and then he ended up, yeah.